And people have been asking me why I was talking about this. My journey, in fact, I wonder if I could pick up some pictures, but my journey, I used to be, oh gosh, I don't even want to look at it. I was about 220 pounds, seriously, 220 pounds. And which for me, I'm very thin boned. I've got very, very small bones. And I'm just bringing this up. I can't believe I'm bringing this up now. I can't actually believe I'm going to show you this. That was me. And then this was me post cleanse, after the cleanse. So that was me before. And that was me after. And so I did this cleanse, which was, okay, you'll all remember this, okay? So, I can't believe I'm actually showing you these old photos. Remember that, Lisa? Oh my gosh.
Okay, so
and that's
what you looked like when we very first met.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing.
That was me. And so I lost a huge amount of weight. I loved who I was and I was very happy who I was. But I also knew for my own health, I knew for my own health that was really important that I actually did something about it. I was having heart palpitations. I was a borderline diabetic. I had so many problems. And in fact, recently I had heart palpitations as well. So this is why I decided to do the cleanse. And this is what we're talking about today. We were talking about the cleanse only because I felt, we're actually starting to do a cleanse tomorrow, a joint cleanse. I'm going to be with it. Nick is on it. We are taking that cleanse, and it's really about education for me. It's about educating those who we all sit in a very sedate life. We sit in our computers, we sit on our chairs, we eat junk food, we eat processed food, we drink carbonated drinks, we drink soda, we drink alcohol, we have coffee, listen, I'm not telling you that is wrong. But what I'm telling you is that I noticed how my life changed when I became healthier, and how my connection to spirit opened up. My connection to spirit was just unbelievable. And so it was really about, I don't know why I'm playing with my hair, but thank you, Rachel, for commenting. But yeah, it was unbelievable how I just completely changed.
I love it, and I'm finding that I am completely energized. Although someone did say that I look tired. It's 11 o'clock at night, and I got up at 5 o'clock this morning. So naturally, I'm going to look tired.
By the way, that speaks to the amount of energy that you're just going.
No, this is interesting. The energy is incredible. The energy of it is incredible. I'm able to actually sustain energy, and I've driven 5 hours today, probably 6 hours, because I took on a trip to Hydesville, which I went live on about. But it was quite incredible because I had this stamina. Now, you were talking about health issues, and you may not know this, and I haven't said this, but I was having severe heart palpitations prior to this cleanse. And, my boyfriend's a medic, and we were discussing it, and he's like, Lisa, I think you need to start eating clean again. I start eating healthy, because you kind of sway off things sometimes, and I did. And what was interesting is I have not had a single heart palpitation since I've started this. Wow. So it's been amazing. And so which brings me into the question is, Eugene just asked a question, said, is it safe for diabetics? So that's the question.
Well, I always tell people I'm not a doctor and I don't give medical advice. And I will also tell you that I've had a large number of diabetics go through this program, and all have had incredible results. I even had a woman who's about 75 years old who had been a diabetic for decades. And she went through the program. She lost 15 pounds in 3 weeks, eating the whole time. Her blood pressure had never been so low in her life. And her blood sugar levels were so good that her doctor almost took her off her insulin, but decided not to, because the woman that went through was not willing to maintain the healthy eating lifestyle. So they would have taken her off if she would have said, you know what, I will cut out the things that are causing the imbalances and stick with this plant-based nutrition program. So I also saw a question come up about, is it vegan? It's plant-based, and yes, it's vegan. So, you know, you're eating veggies, you're eating fruits, you're eating nuts, you're eating seeds. So as a diabetic, as I said, I can't tell you that medically speaking, oh, you're absolutely in the clear. What I can tell you is check with your doctor, and we have a lot of diabetics that go through, and every single one of them has succeeded. Lise, there's one thing I wanted to ask you, because one thing I really remember when you went through this process, and you kind of touched on it earlier, you were talking about the clarity that you had and that you have when you go on this. And I remember when you went back through this program a couple of years ago, how you had these incredible experiences where your connection with the other side became super, super, kind of almost miraculous, you know, where it was just so extraordinarily clear.
You know, I will tell you, because it's so interesting, and obviously doing my work, I have these moments where I think I'm making this crap up. I think, oh my God, really? You can't make this stuff up. And seriously, so what was happening is I sat down, I did this reading, which was like off the charts. And I sat and I went, what's different? And I didn't even think about it, because, you know, I don't, because you know, I wasn't doing anything different per se, because this was just something that I'd gotten used to. And I'm like, oh my God. And I realized it was actually cleanse. And every time, and I swear, honestly, every time I do this cleanse, without a shadow of a doubt, my readings go off the charts. It's like, and this is any time I want the reading, maybe I should do more Facebook Live readings. I've got Master Teacher, but you know, hey, we can squeeze them in. But they go like unbelievable. And so I was like, how am I getting this person's name? And how am I getting this? And it made me, this is interesting, because it made me see how my dog's just sort of moving. Sorry, I just had a moment ago. What's that? It made me realize how I wasn't so clear. And the other thing is, it made me also understand is how I break my readings down, and how I was down to help my students understand the process of my connection. And so in a way, it really, really helped it all round, actually. I mean, for me, it was just amazing. So yeah, I mean, it totally connected me. Absolutely.
Awesome. So would you recommend, you know, I know you're constantly training people, and even, you know, a lot of people are just trying to learn to have a stronger connection with their intuition and with their self, and to make self-honoring choices and to honor the guidance that they receive. Do you think that this could help them just maybe, you know, accelerate their gifts or that connection?
You know, I feel as though, I always say acceleration of gifts is individual. If you're supposed to accelerate very quickly, you will.
Right.
But I feel as though it's going to make your intuition, your gut instinct much more clearer. It will make your connection to spirit clearer. For me, it really, really can completely change your life. Seriously, it will change your life in the way that you connect with spirit, and you connect, and you just get so much. I don't know how to explain it. You just get so much off from it, so much clarity. That's how I look at it. It's just incredible clarity, absolute incredible clarity. Listen, I just wanted to add into this, because it was a couple of things that you said earlier, is, you know, we get, and this is something that is very much for me, is that I get so waylaid. Listen, I run a school. So let's start at home. I am mom to 2 teenagers. I am mom to 2 teenagers. I have 3 dogs. I have a school I have 2 houses, and I am trying to maintain everything. And on top of that, I'm trying to tour. I'm trying to do my work. I'm trying to give readings. I'm also working extensively for Lilydale as well. So I am very, very busy. And I got to tell you with this, my hardest thing is actually doing something for me. So as I'm doing Master Teacher right now, what I found that it was very, very tough. It was very, very hard for me to actually carve out time for me. The one thing that it did, this cleanse, was it made me focus on me. It actually gave me time for me. And in so many ways, I ended up, seriously, I ended up to do. And it happened the other day where everybody's out on their motorcycles, and I'm an avid motorcyclist. I love my motorcycle. And so everybody's out, going out. There's loads and loads and loads of people. And they're like, will you come out? Are you going to come out? Are you going to come out? And I actually said, no, I need to do something for me. And I went off to Wegmans because it's the only healthier food store that we have around here, to go and get all my gluten-free, everything, all my organic veggies, you name it, everything. And I went and did something for me. And I'm just going to say this, because what we do is we invest in ourselves, we invest in our health. We don't really invest in our health. We go by what the doctors say. And I'm just going to speak for me personally, but we go by what the doctors say. We go by everything that we are told to do. And is that this, honestly, for me, changed my life, because what it enabled me to do was take time for me, take control of me, allow myself to give to myself. And I always see this as a gift, because in reality, what I'm doing is I'm actually gifting myself the opportunity to be healthy, the opportunity to change my life, not just lose weight. Because listen, I got an ass that, oh my gosh, I love my ass. My ass is huge. You can't get rid of it. Okay, I got hips and tits. Let's face it. All right, I got a woman's body. I got curves. All right, but reality is it made me focus on me, and I'm giving me back, and I'm allowing myself to be healthy, and it's an investment in you. Yes, a lot of people say to me, wow, it's a lot of money. And I understand that, okay? I understand that, but this is an investment in you. Organic food is healthy, but listen, would you rather a doctor's bill, or would you rather organic food?
Yeah.
Because that's a simple fact sometimes.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just get a bit passionate about it.
No, and I'm so glad you do, because so everything that you say is so true. And I see this so much, especially with women and with men too. Typically it's men that are in very high powered, like CEO entrepreneurial roles, and just women in general. And you know what? It's like their health and their own self-care is always last on the priority. Everybody else and every other thing always goes first. It always gets the trump card. And we can't do that anymore. I hate to say this, but like, I work with so many people, and all I watch is people who deal with these things like adrenal failure and just on their last leg. And the thing is they say, oh my gosh, it's expensive. So are you going to wait until literally you're in bed and you can't function, or you're on the operating table and then you're going to wait? And I see it so often, and it doesn't have to be that way. You know, it's, you make an investment and then guess what? It's like, you can't put a price tag on your health. You cannot put a price tag on your health, because what you don't realize, people are like, it's so much money. Well, guess what happens when you have more energy and when you have better mental focus and clarity? You make more money. You make more money because you get more done, and the actions that you take are way more effective than what you were doing before. Like, you go from proactive to reactive to proactive, and it's a very different ball game, you know. And I'd also just like to add one more thing, and that is that most people don't know this, but the average doctor takes 1 hour of nutrition in all of their medical training. 1 hour of nutrition. All of their study is on pharmacology and symptomatic treatments. So that's food for thought, because guess what? Food is life. And if you looked at my webpage, you'll see I've been endorsed by an OBGYN who's also a fertility specialist. And by the way, any of you men and women out there that are having trouble getting pregnant, you've got to clean out your body, because the toxins in your body are definitely impacting your ability to conceive, for sure. And if you're thinking about getting pregnant, you definitely need to clean out your body, because all of the toxins that are in your body will go forward into your child. But that's another deal. I get very passionate about that because of all the children that are being born with ADD and autism and all of these, challenges that aren't necessary. So the fertility specialist actually said, when she gave me an endorsement, she said, Nykki, I learned more from you in this 2 weeks I was on your cleanse than I did my entire time I was in medical school. So,
wow.
So yeah, it's, it might appear to be costly, but quite honestly, even here's the deal. I've studied human behavior my whole life. When it comes to investing in oneself, no matter what the price tag is, it's always expensive and it's never a good time. So even if it was $75, it'd be like, oh yeah, I have so much on my plate, Yeah. And
it's true. It's true.
Yeah. But at some point,
and it's about investing in. Yeah. It's about investing in yourself. Sorry, Nykki. It's about investing in yourself. And reality is, I had to make a decision. Do I want to do the cleanse, or do I want to go and buy a new pair of shoes? Or, and this is what we look at. This is exactly what we look at. We have to put these things into balance. Yes, okay, there's bills, but we understand that. But reality is so tough as well when you are sick. Sorry.
Yeah, and also, it's really interesting how people don't seem to have the money for a cleanse, but they have the money to go to Starbucks daily or a couple times a week, and to go to happy hour, and or to stop and get a bottle of wine on their way home. So it's really interesting. You start to look at the money that you're spending on things that aren't in your self-care regimen, or that you would take off the table. It's funny, Jen Schaefer, right, who went through the program, she said, Nykki, I actually made money by giving you money, because I stopped ordering alcohol and drinking alcohol and eating crap food. And I started, drinking juice and eating vegetables. And I saved all of this money. I saved all this money. And I was like, that's very cool.
It's true. It's so true. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And how often do you do this? So I personally do it twice a year, but that's me. I personally do it twice a year.
Absolutely. So I do it 3 and sometimes 4 times a year. But what I do is I do 3 full-on cleanses, and then sometimes I'll do like a mini cleanse in between, right? And so I really recommend at least 2, if not 3 times a year. And actually I do offer bundle discounts for people that want to do that. And here's why. Just like you go to the gym, you need to keep cleaning your body out, because you're constantly, if you don't go to the gym, you're going to get out of shape. And when you don't keep cleaning your body out, this toxicity that's coming at you, first of all, let's not even talk about food. Let's talk about just the amount of stress that most people are experiencing all day, every day. And a lot of times people take the formulas and they say, what's in that? I mean, I feel kind of drunk, or, they say that they feel like altered. And I say, well, you know what it is? Actually, the liver tonic specifically addresses cortisol and adrenaline in the system. So it goes in and it immediately reduces the cortisol and the adrenaline. And our bodies have gotten in such a normalized state of existence in fight or flight mode that when these start to reduce, we feel as though we've just drank a glass of wine or something. You feel sedated. But in fact, you're just actually at homeostasis and you're back at a place of balance and feeling centered.
Yeah, it's very, very true. And that's I didn't know it was that, but it's amazing how much clearer I am, how much more aware I am. Now, I do want to just address Gabrielle here. She said, is it sustainable? People give up because they're bored or feel deprived. I'm going to talk from someone who has done this. And trust me, I was a sugar addict, processed food. Give me pizza any time of the day. Loved it. Give me red meat. Oh my God. Especially when I was on tour and doing my work, I was always craving something. Oh my, Diet Coke, like ridiculous, you name it. And I will tell you now, maybe it was because I had Nykki's watchful eye over me. I'm not sure, but I absolutely made sure, kept to it, and it was easy. And the interesting thing is I thought I would actually go back to it or back to eating, all the crap, but I didn't. Afterwards, I ended up carrying on and just eating exactly the same way. And for me, it was really easy. I mean, it was so easy. It actually fitted into my schedule so easy.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing that, Lise, because, it's interesting because I think one of the beautiful aspects of the program is that it's long enough. Like if you only go 3 days or 7 days, you haven't really created any new habits. You haven't really put in some new behaviors and reformatted your palate and really purified your body of all those things that are causing the chemical addictions. And so because it is a 21-day program, it's long enough that you are able to, you reformat your palate. You actually are training your body to crave these new healthy foods. And you just go in that direction. It's really such a beautiful process. And I find that most people end up sticking predominantly to this diet. And they do in a way, they do out of choice. It's not out of, I should do this, I need to do this. It's like, God, I just feel so much better than I did before. Like, why would I go back and do it the other way? And to be honest, many people say, I'm so surprised because I actually enjoy these foods so much more than I thought I would. Like, I really like what I'm eating. And so it's really so much easier than you think. It's so much of it is in your mind. But once you turn that corner and you make a commitment, right? And that's the beauty of coming on the program, is that you've made a commitment. You've said, for 21 days, I am committed to this process. And I always tell people, listen, don't plan for longer than 21 days. Just keep your eye on the prize and get to day 21. And at that point, be empowered and see where you feel and make a choice from there. Cleansers that are out there and they come back and they tell me their stories because your life changes, right? Your life changes and it's really cool. Yeah. And I'm here to share it with me, right? So one of the things I hear consistently usually from moms, is how their children actually start making healthier choices and asking for healthier food because they're watching their mom eat healthy food.
So it happened to Charlie. Sorry to cut you off. It happened to Charlie. Again, junk food addict, hated eating. And now he's in the kitchen and he is honestly, seriously, you have no idea. I looked at him and I went, what are you eating? He went, I've got salmon, I've got broccoli, and I've got eggs. And I went, okay. And he eats so healthy now. In fact, he's having to go at his sister now, and he's like, you can't eat that. You can't eat that. That's not good for you. And oh my God, it was so funny. It was So sorry to interrupt, because when I started doing it, he actually said, Mom, I think I'm going to go vegetarian with you in the evening and I'll just eat meat at school.
Yep.
It was amazing.
Yep.
I suffer with severe anxiety and depression. Does it also help with that, especially if it gives more energy? What's your thoughts on that?
So I'll just share that as someone, I shared this in the beginning of the video, right? And the whole reason I got into cleansing is because I myself was struggling really with depression. And you knew me at that time, Lisa. I stopped working. Yeah. I didn't function in the world, anything. And I was also a sugar addict, and I dealt with, but not sugar in the sense of, I had, not in the sense of people think, oh, sugar, an addict, like your closet stuffing or anything like this. But I had to have my frozen yogurt at night or my chocolate at night. Like I couldn't give up sweets. It might have been honey or whatever, but I couldn't give it up. So that I had leaky gut and I had depression severely. And since starting this program, I can say I am in better health at the age of 39. I'm 39 years old. I have more energy now than I did when I was 15. I am off the charts happier than I've ever been. And I'm just driven in my life. Like I am living. I'm not thinking about the things I want to do. I'm doing it. I'm like all in. So, can I say it's going to heal your depression? I can't say that. I don't know where you are. What I can tell you is it's healed mine, and I don't struggle with it. It doesn't mean I don't have challenges. I'm a human being and we go through our experiences. And I think depression, it's really important for us to know that depression is not a problem. A lot of times it's an indication that there's an imbalance in the body. Right? It could be a physical imbalance, it could be an emotional imbalance, and it could be a spiritual imbalance. And what we can do to really start to work on alleviating those symptoms is to tackle it from all aspects. And the really amazing thing about the cleanse is that it's like a fast pass, like 3 weeks. Like a 3-week boot camp that gets results more than like a 3 weeks of eating healthy, working out, and meditating. And I mean, it's, Lise, the results that you get from this are like, you really feel like, I feel like I have a secret weapon.
It's actually quite amazing. I'll tell you, it's changed my life, and now I do this cleanse twice a year or something. It's changed my life, absolutely. We've got some questions. Can I fire them at you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so Wendy asks, will it help with borderline thyroid issues?
I can tell you that I have a lot of success with thyroid challenges, from Hashimoto's syndrome to hyper and hypo. And a lot of times the women, it's usually almost always the women that have the thyroid problems. They need to, exactly. After they do the cleanse, they slightly need to adjust their medication, their hormones, because their body is now producing the hormones that they need. And so so you have to get you don't need the hormones that you had before. And it's important to know that the body's, it's constantly in a state of correction, right? So you expect miracles, but receive what's available to you at this time. And so a lot of times, like for instance, I had a woman that went through the program. So she had actually cancer. She had cancerous nodules after having Hashimoto's syndrome. She had her entire thyroid removed. And what happened was her TSH levels were like up and down and up and down, and she couldn't function. Right? She literally could not function. And this is like a mother of 2. She manages like super wealthy people and celebrities' money. So she's got a lot of stress and she can't get out of bed. So she tried everything, was on bioidenticals, seeing all these specialists. No one could get her sorted. She did my cleanse. Within a week, she was on the treadmill. Her
Wow.
bioidentical
That's amazing.
hormone specialist said, what are you doing? I need it right now. Took a meeting with me, took me out to lunch, took out her checkbook and said, how much is it? I'm doing it right now. So
Wow.
if you have a thyroid imbalance, you might really consider joining us on Saturday.
You know, I actually, just answering into that, I actually have thyroid issues. I mean, I'm 32. I'm now 44, coming up to. And seriously, it changed my life. It changed everything. So I get it. I absolutely get it. How does taking this affect medications that a person might be on? Example, asthma medication or anything like that?
Well, you just might find actually that you don't need your asthma medication, because that actually happens a lot. And I can think of a woman specifically who was literally astounded. She was on like so many allergy medications, and she came off of them. She's like, I don't need them. I don't have any allergies anymore. And oh, April, do you see it? She says, I did Nykki's cleanse and I loved it. Oh, thank you. It makes me so happy. You know, I love when people do this because it's like,
Yeah.
And so as far as medications go, so I'll tell you right now, the only real contraindication with the herbal formulas is pregnancy and breastfeeding. Outside of that, you know, there are no documented contraindications. I have had people on almost any medication that you can imagine, you know, the thyroid, the hormones, all of this, every medication under the sun. And so far we're doing really good. So
That's awesome.
But again, I
did
say, ask your doctor and get clearance, because I'm not a doctor. Mm-hmm. One thing that comes through this process, which is not something that's easy to understand except through experience. You really only understand it through experience. And that is through the cleanse process, your self-trust, the trust that you have in yourself absolutely goes off the charts. So, and I'm getting goosebumps all over my body right now. So as we both know, that's confirmation. So what happens is through this process, as you stay connected to, you stay on this path of making self-honoring choices. You keep saying no to the things that are not right for you, even though they're coming in and you're going to be tempted. I mean, the truth is that we live in this world where fast food, alcohol, and sugar is constantly being shoved in our face. Right? And a lot of times it's free. So when you continue to walk on this path and you say, no, 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 but you choose yes for what you've chosen for yourself, and not only what you've chosen for yourself, but actually for foods and drinks that actually nourish you at the cellular level. The very, very fabric of your being is what you're saying yes to. Your sense of self-trust develops in a way that I could never explain and that you could never understand until you've done this. And then what happens is you become so connected with what is right for you that you act upon it without even thought. Thought ceases to exist. Your body goes and you follow it. There's almost a like, oh my God, this is happening and I don't really know why, but I know that's where I'm supposed to go. And then boom, point of like clarification of why it happens. So I think that really piggybacks when you are working with your intuition and also, you know, for those that are working on their gifts. And I think a big part of that is, you know, trusting the guidance that you're receiving, right? It's like that trust of like, okay, I'm getting messages here, but is that just my mind? Is that just the chatter? Am I imagining it? And you stop doubting yourself and you just start trusting yourself and you follow it because you're just confident. You're confident.
You know, you are, and it changed everything, and it changed. For me, it just changed my whole life, and I'm just going to tell you that it really did.
I do this program 3, if not 4 times a year. And that's how, at this point, I'm 39 years old and people are asking, and I don't mean this from a boastful place, and Lisa will back me up, but I get asked, like, what's my major in college? And like, how are you 39 years old? And you have like all of this energy, and it's true. And Lisa, you're a walking testament to this too. Like, you know, you even said in our video that the amount of stamina and vitality and the energy that you have now because of the program, you know, being on the program, because before this you were having migraines and heart palpitations when you started this, and now here you are, like, charging through these, I mean, you went bright and early straight through like midnight for how many, you know, this is like the schedule you're keeping. So
yeah. So, I mean, for me, obviously I work as a medium and I teach and I do all of this stuff and I travel like crazy. My normal day is 6:30 up. I don't go to bed until probably 12 because I'm constantly working. I do readings. I do 3 readings a day, 2 readings, 3 readings a day. I teach. I have mentoring students. I travel. I have heart palpitations in the thing. I try and eat. I ride a motorcycle. I'm a mom of 2 teenagers. I have 3 dogs. You know, I'm trying to, it's hard to balance a life, you know, although I am in a relationship. I'm essentially a single mom because he works away and comes home at weekends. So I'm essentially a single mom to everybody. And it isn't easy, but I found that I've actually had more and more. And I know everybody's like, why aren't you using your gift? Why aren't you, I just want to address everybody here. I am actually teaching a huge course right now, and as soon as that finishes in 2 weeks, I'm going to start going live and doing readings. So please watch out and do that, because I am going to do that. It's something I want to do. But coming back to this, the reason why I wanted to support Nykki with this, because I just feel like whether or not you come into this, it's just an awareness. It's an awareness of doing something for you, and it's awareness of making a time for you and giving yourself a gift and being able to actually do this. And that's how I look at it, because this is a phenomenal thing, but it's realizing that we're trying to give you the tools to help you help yourself. And for me, as a medium, I mean, I'm going to tell you now, I wouldn't have been able to write anything like this massive sort of like course structure for my master teachers without it being so switched on. And my clarity is pretty amazing. When I actually start doing my readings, it's amazing. I sat and did a reading today with one of my teachers, and it was like boom, 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 boom. I had no idea what I was talking about. It was like, oh my gosh, it was crazy. So I just wanted to let you know that also the clarity, my inspiration, my knowledge, it's just kind of crazy. It opens it up. And then obviously I bring in the fact of yoga. Nykki introduced me to yoga as well. So it's like my yoga, also meditation, just the whole journey of it all is very, very powerful. And I've never experienced anything like it. I can tell you, just from my point of view. And that's the reason why I share it, because you know me, guys, I share everything.